what's some of the best stuff we ever put in our mouth, except for, that breakfast sandwich I just made. Welcome to Cue the Mic.
Welcome back. Episode 30.
Familiar face on the screen. Familiar face on the screen.
There you go.
The Reverend Randy Twyford, all the way from Jacksonville, Illinois.
Center of the USA. Center of the USA.
Center of the USA. The crossroads. Sad day here at Cue the Mic. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just depends how you look at
Randy's pregnant.
And I don't know how it happened.
Bad news.
I don't know how it happened.
We had bad news to share.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is not the truth.
That's not the truth. How do you know Randy is not pregnant, Emma?
I think genetics might have a part to play in that.
Oh, no. We live in 2020s.
Yeah, it's 2020.
Anything
can happen.
Can happen.
No shit. That's the truth. Isn't that the truth? Watch the news. Well, there's only one news, Fox, so. So that's the only news
I'm gonna
there
miss
is.
this.
Yeah. Emma's last podcast.
That's the big news. This is it. Yep.
Not really. This isn't it for the podcast. That's why we've had Randy in training.
And I'm not doing very good at it, so.
Yeah.
He's not doing very good. He doesn't have his ring light set up, and either do I, but I have natural, beautiful Florida sunlight. So Randy's back in a dark cavern in his office.
Just the dinge in my office with all the shit piled around, so.
Right. So Emma's moving on. She's moving on to bigger and better things. She's gonna, move to a job doing social media, working from home.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm gonna help public schools market their education and all that stuff. How do
you do that, Emma? How do you market education? You got kids and they got to go to school. Why do you got to market them?
Well, I think it's more of just keeping the school in communication with parents and kids on things that are going on. For like Van Meter, for instance, they use this group, and they do a lot of the sports posts and things for when we make it to state, and all of the performances kids have, and just academic achievements and stuff. So it's more of just like being a kind of what social media is for anybody, but like a newsletter and a way to keep parents in the know and kids in the know.
Speaking of sports, I've got a big announcement. One of the guys that worked for me this summer, Colin Brunstein, he's leading the NCAA in. You know about that, Emma? No. He's leading the NCAA in yards received and touchdowns made in Division III.
Whoa!
And he's got one
Division
more.
III
cool.
up at.
They just beat the shit out of an Iowa team this weekend.
Is he a suck lucky?
No. Illinois College Blue Boy. He worked for me all summer. Local guy.
Illinois. Oh, he's a Blue Boy.
Yeah, Illinois College Blue Boys. And they got one more game left, so he's going to beat all the school records and lead the He's leading the NCAA Division III right now, so we're all pretty proud of him.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
All right.
He's a runner.
Shout out to Colin. I haven't seen anything about that on the old Twyford Barbecue social media.
Yeah. Dropping the ball.
I guess you're right. He can take, and I've got one of those. I've got a Grizzly cooler, regular size Grizzly cooler, and I wouldn't have believed this if I hadn't seen it. He can jump from a standing jump on top of that cooler in the back of a pickup. From a dead standing still, he can jump straight up on top of a cooler in the back of my pickup.
From the ground? Or from the back of the pickup?
No. From the ground, he can jump straight up. Standing still. Swear to God. Well,
so we need this I think that's our
TikTok
Twyford
opportunity.
barbecue employers are.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a social media thing there. That's
then,
wow, that's a viral thing.
Well, and he wanted to try jumping. The other guys were betting him that he couldn't jump from the ground, standing still on top of our walk-in cooler. And he seemed very confident that he could, no problem. But me, I'm like, I wouldn't let him do it, because if he didn't do it and he broke something, I didn't want it on my watch.
Well, and you don't want him jumping on that cooler till at least, I mean, because the problem is one little slip and he breaks an ankle, and guess what? Some stupid trick takes out his football career.
That's why I said, and he was like, well, come on, let me do it. I know I can do it. And I said, no, you're not doing it. And he did the pickup thing before I noticed it. And then I said, let's see it again. So.
Well, I'm gonna have to have a serious talk with Emma's dad, Darren, who's the superintendent of schools out at Van Meter, and he keeps poaching my employees, right? So he sets up Amanda, who was my right hand gal, sets her up with a school job, and now he's poaching Emma, setting her up with a social media job. Take it easy on me, Darren.
Is it poaching when?
Hey.
Good thing. Poaching.
It's a good thing I don't
finding
live close.
Opportunities to take people away from me. That's right.
Good thing I don't live up close to you. I'd be hiring them away. Well, never mind.
Andy probably can't even be within 100 yards of a school.
What? Who can't be?
Randy.
That was very nice. No, I was saying I'd be hiring Darren's employees, his other employees.
Jeez.
You're so bad. You're so bad. But Emma, we're still in negotiation mode, but we're pretty sure the podcast will go on.
Yeah.
It's just going to be the Darren and Randy show. And if I can keep Randy focused and
find
out how to get the glare out of his glasses looking at the screen.
Let me get my light and I'll get it set up.
Ring light behind him.
It'll be a natural glow it'll be a natural glow, which is very natural for me. Thank you.
Right. So Emma will still be behind the scenes. We're in last minute negotiations about what it costs to produce a podcast, but she'll be,
couldn't leave you guys completely hanging.
Right. So she'll still make it happen and do the editing, and she's probably gonna have to do a lot more editing than it's just you and I, Randy. Than Emma
that's
and I,
true.
because she keeps me in track right when we go. But the one thing, I was on my morning walk this morning, right? And every time I'm in Florida, I just go on a nice little 2 mile walk through the harbor. 2 minute walk, 2 mile, 2 mile walk through the harbor, and look at all the boats and yachts, and just it's just been beautiful. We've been down here for 12 days, 13 days. We're going home, but it was just absolutely stunning. And so, but I'm always thinking, but I'm listening to podcasts too. Right. So I've been, Emma got me on this New Heights podcast, a 92%er since I am a Swiftie. But I've been kind of listening to that a little bit. But this morning I listened to one from David Chang, and he's kind of the owner of Momofuku. I think it's Momofuku noodles that you can buy in the store. And he's been on Netflix and all kinds of stuff. I really like listening to him. And I'm telling you what, there is something about, and I listened to Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce on New Heights. I listened to that. Fuck is every other word out of these guys' mouth.
Yeah. They're pretty potty
is
mouth.
Fuck the universal listening word? I mean, is that what, because they're evidently paying big dollar production companies to say, hey, what do we talk about and all this stuff. But I mean, it's just fuck this, fuck that, fuck the fucking fuckers. I can't believe
just normal.
I mean,
it's
just
is normal.
Crazy.
And you and I
they did
can
a whole
remember,
bit about how
you and I can remember the day, Darren.
I was just going to say, like, they've had
you get the shit beat out of you at home.
About that.
You never spoke like that.
Yeah, that
right.
Among, and
yeah. I just thought it was weird that here you have these celebrities on these podcasts. And I listened to about half of one this morning from him. First time I'd ever listened to him. I was just cruising around because I'm always trying to, figure out what's the spin and whatever. And I think we need to become, with it just Randy and I, we need to become more structured and have segments and stuff. But sometimes there's just fun to be had about just getting on and talking about barbecue and business and social media and whatever else. So, so I put a little like, okay, what are we going to talk about today? Because we started planning this as Emma sent me a message this morning at, I don't know, it must have been 6:30 or our time
7?
here. Or 7. Oh, no, maybe it was. You sent me at, 7 o'clock or whatever, which was 8 o'clock this time.
Mm-hmm.
And said, hey, what are we going to talk about?
It was more of, when are we going to record?
It was, hey, when are we going to record? And I said, hell, Randy's not busy this morning. Let's get on this morning and see if we can't knock one out. But then you quick go, oh shit, what are we going to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
So we went out like we do every week, and we went out to people to leave ideas, and they never do. So I went to Facebook, and I said, hey dudes, I need content I need topics to discuss today for Cue the Mic. For some reason, I can't tag Cue the Mic. I'm off my personal Facebook page. Don't know why.
Because Cue the Mic doesn't have a Facebook page.
Maybe that'd be a nice project for you to do today before you leave.
Randy, I got stuff to do.
Bullshit.
So anyway, I thought I just walked out and I'd say some of these questions and we can get some input. Randy gives some input and Emma and whatever, because, just stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the viewers. At some point, I want to talk about the best food we ever ate, too. Not necessarily today, because I really need to think about it. But Randy, we need to talk about it. We've traveled the world.
Yeah.
And what's some of the best stuff we ever put in our mouth, except for, that breakfast sandwich I just made.
Just took a picture of
out there this morning. I took a picture of. Had an
don't go there.
Breakfast
don't
sandwich
go there,
on the flat
Emma.
top.
I know what you're thinking. Get your mind out of the gutter.
That's fine. That's fine. What?
Yeah. So this is going to be that exactly is what's going to be Emma listening to our recording of the podcast. That's what's going to happen, because she's going to be sitting at home going, "What the fuck? What the fuck?
What are those two?"
I won't be able to monitor it.
No.
I'm a little. Yeah, it's going to be a scary experience. I think,
we're a very unmonitored group of people, so
I can't. Yeah.
Okay. What's
navigate.
your list, Darren? What's your list, Darren?
So back to the question. Old Donnie Teal said, "Fat side up or fat side down?" Randy,
fat side down.
I'm assuming he's talking about brisket and not women.
Oh, well, that's a whole different subject then.
You think he's talking about brisket or women?
Do you know Donnie Teal? So if you know Donnie Teal, use that. I have fat side down, most definitely. Fat side down.
Fat side down. Donnie, come on. This isn't an amateur podcast. Okay, Emma's already got her pulse taken like this. You can always tell when she's measuring her heart rate when she holds her two fingers up to her neck.
It's fine.
So what's your thought? Fat side up,
Steve
fat side
says,
no. Answer
depends on the heat source. Depends on the heat source.
Okay.
Depends on the heat source. So it depends where your heat's coming from. And if you're cooking for family or for competition, I'm a meat side up guy, just because I'm worried about presentation.
Right.
When I'm fat side up. So if you got air coming across in a stick burner, ultimately you want fat side up because you want that fat to be the insulation protection. If you're on a can, you want the fat side down because that fat is protecting.
Sure.
But a lot of people flip back and forth. Age-old question, you know what? It doesn't matter. People like the fat on a brisket, it bastes through the meat. Oh, really? If it's basting through the meat, then why, if I do a fat side up brisket and I open the cooker, why is there a pool of fat sitting on top of the brisket if it bastes down through the brisket?
Put
right?
the fat
It
side
doesn't.
on the
It just
top.
rolls off the side.
Right.
The tenderness or the juiciness of a brisket really depends on nothing but how marbled that brisket is.
The internal fat.
Internally.
Okay.
Because most competition cooks today, not most, but a lot of them trim all that fat off.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Now, yeah, I don't do that.
No.
Well, Steve says the importance of learning to cook versus following a recipe, right? And so I see that a lot. You know, you get people to go and take a class and write down their recipes and instantly win a grand champion next week.
Uh-huh.
You know, and we see that a lot. Now, what I love is when there's like tornado conditions 2 hours before turn in.
Kind of messes things up.
Or that's really, or when it's really cold out or windy or high elevation.
Does the elevation make
all
a
those
difference?
things become huge difference. You know,
Okay.
The fun fact. Meat will only go as high as the boiling temp of water. Okay. Now, some people say differently, but this is my experience. So if you're up in Arizona in the mountains or Colorado in the mountains and the boiling temp of water is 200 degrees, you will never get your brisket above 200 degrees. Now, that doesn't make it tender, right? So every time we've cooked high elevation, I've always had to kind of keep a little bit of a logbook, the contest before, to say when I wrap my brisket and when it reaches 200, boom, and then how long did it take to get done after 200? So if it took normally, if I cook a brisket to 210 in competition, if I did 200 and it took 45 minutes to get from 200 to 210, or maybe 25 minutes, I would watch that because it becomes a game of feel. So all those high mountain cooks, they're feel cooks, not temp cooks.
Not temperature cooks.
Because that brisket that steam will not get above the boiling temp of water.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so when somebody says, I cook my brisket to 215, I'm like, I don't think that's possible. I think you need to check your probe.
Right.
Because I think steam and boiling point of water never goes above that temperature. How does that meat ever get above that temperature if boiling water or steam cannot get above that temp?
Makes sense.
But that's the difference between following a recipe and being a cook.
I would agree.
So when a good competition cook can follow a recipe, when shit goes wrong, a really good competition cook will win.
I would agree.
And that's because, and so I love, we used to say all about overcoming adversity. I love when there's adversity in a cook. First of all, I get bored. I get bored doing stuff the same way, same thing every week. That's why I'm no good anymore. I keep changing shit up because I get bored, right? I get bored so I'm always experimenting. Well, why would you experiment at home when I can experiment at a competition? I got time then.
Exactly.
So drives Sherry crazy.
You know, and one of the things, you always hear people say, well, practice at home. But it goes back to what you're saying, Darren, about the adversity and things like that. You can practice at home. Always, well, there goes a rabbit. My train of thought doesn't go very fast. Good. But it's hard to replicate, a cooking contest at home and all the different things going on and having somebody come up and start talking to you about this, that, or the other. And then, oh, shit. It's gone a little bit over, my time's a little bit over, or my temp's a little bit over. So I understand the whole practice at home is a good idea and to kind of get you in the ballpark, but you're never going to fine tune it as much as you can at a contest. Would you agree?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. It's like I keep thinking of practicing. How do you practice adversity? And for some reason, you ever seen the shots? They do shots out in, this has nothing to do with it, but kind of. The shots out in Sturgis where they put the guy up on the counter and the girl with the big boobs gives him a shot.
Oh,
and then and then slaps him in the face and then throws a bucket of water in his face.
Right.
Really, that's what you should do when you're practicing at home. You should, have a big fan and turn it on and emulate the wind, and have your wife throw a bucket of water on you, or put a sprinkler on top of you, and so get all kinds of adverse conditions.
Or have a lot of neighbors
trying
come
to
over
finish
and visit
your
with
chicken,
you.
or you're trying to. Yeah, exactly. Try and get interrupted as many times as you can, because it's really, it's the focus that matters. It's interesting. Tim Malloy says we should discuss tiki bars and grouper sandwiches. Stone crabs are back in season. And I'm a big grouper sandwich, man. I did some kick-ass. I found grouper cheeks on sale down here last week.
Really?
Or this past week, a couple of days ago. $12 a pound. There is not a better piece of fish in the world. Oh, they're normally $25 a pound.
Really?
$12 a pound, cut fresh. And I was watching the guy cutting them back there. I'm like, I'll just take those. They're like they're just golden. Stone crabs. Yeah, Malloy, I'm not a big stone crab fan. Too much work. You go to all this work to cut into a piece of crab that's got a little quarter-sized piece of meat. They may be good, but not worth it. Lots of talk about drinking during competitions.
Yeah,
well, I've got a whole,
and that's part of the culture.
It's part of the culture, but I think I remember somebody once told me a few years ago, and I agree with this. If you just want to go to a contest to get drunk, take that $1,000 or whatever it's going to cost you to go to the contest, and go to a bar at home.
Yeah, I'm a strong believer in that. I always was a 2-drink on Friday night guy.
Right.
So, and that explains our reason why we show up at most contests on Wednesdays or Thursdays. Because get that out of your systems. So Friday night, you're ready to go. Now, I've kind of changed. I'm not much of a drinker anymore. I mean, I've been in Florida for 12 days now, I think. Right? And I bet you I haven't had 3 drinks.
Really?
And I got the Lukes with us. No, I really don't care. I get more enjoyment out of a glass of water or iced tea. And so they've been, drinking from sun up to sundown. And I've been driving them around. I said, "Hey, you guys want to go bar hopping? I'm fine." And Sherry's like, "I feel bad." I'm like, "No, don't feel bad. I'm thinking about going totally on the wagon. Not a thing wrong with
that. That's what I did this summer, and it's actually pretty. If you really take enough time off, you don't need it. You realize it's really not that.
I went from
that special.
I never did.
This summer was
right.
Well, yeah, but like this summer, like even socializing, like I went to plenty of things this summer and didn't drink, and everyone was like, "Hey, I feel really bad," and it's like, no, because now I know you're gonna get home safe. I'm gonna feel great tomorrow.
Exactly.
And I'm still enjoying my time, and I remember it.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That maybe tells how come you shouldn't be drinking if you don't remember stuff. Get so drunk you don't remember stuff.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Randy, you were going to say something?
No, I'm just saying.
Did the rabbit just go by?
The rabbit just went by. But I'm just saying. I went the longest stretch probably this last year of not drinking, and I'm about like you. I really don't care to drink anymore. And I mean, it's not a thing, I've got a problem. Well, I probably at one time had a problem. I know that. But don't have a problem. It's just, I don't like feeling like shit the next day.
Yeah. Older we get, feel like shit.
And I guess you said the key thing right there.
It's not super, and we live in a drinking world. Man. It's crazy. We go to these, I mean, especially down in Florida, man. You go to at 2:00, you do not get a sit at a bar stool, because every bar stool has a name on it from a local that sits there every afternoon.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, oh my God, it's just crazy. It's like we drive by a bar and there's nobody sitting around except for the bar is full. And I'm like, well, we're not stopping there because the locals are just going to look at us funny.
There's no what you say?
But it's interesting. Huh?
You said there's nobody.
Well, let's say there's a bunch of tables. Yesterday we went to a bar. I was taking them out drinking. And so we went out yesterday morning to church. Well, we were headed to church. Now, church is from 10 to 1 at the deck bar in Cape Coral.
Right.
And they used to have a guy that sang, and he was kind of the preacher. Okay.
Right.
So you got to go to church at 10 o'clock, even though there was nothing ever said that was holy. But,
Right.
Okay.
but you go to church. Well, now they got this gal singing. She's okay, but not as good as the other guy used to be. He used to be the one-man band that used to make fun of the crowd and all that stuff. But he must have, I don't know, passed on or went somewhere else.
Too much drinking
or whatever. He was an older guy. Too much drinking, but it's a way of life down here, and it's like, I just have a bottle of water and a good old unsweet iced tea.
There you go.
But if I'm going to drink, I'm going to drink something really good. I just want one of them, right? If I'm going to have a bourbon, I just want one, but just give me a really, really good one. Carrying on. Enough about drinking.
Yeah.
Because it does cut into your focus. So if you're worried about that, we still have a 10 o'clock Lucky Beer on Saturday morning. I don't end up drinking the beer. I take a drink of it and dump most of it out, set it on the counter, and Sherry dumps it out later. But still got to have your traditions of whether it's a 922 or 10 o'clock Lucky Beer and thing. But yeah, just if you want to perform on Saturday, I'm guessing that getting drunk on Friday night's probably not. Some of them can do it. Old Jeff from Chicken and Grinning, man, that boy, he can party up and do it. And if he doesn't, he ain't worth a shit. So,
well, wasn't there a guy, there was a team that it was always the joke that if they were down, just plastered, they would win the contest, and they normally did.
Well, that was old Rob McGee from Munching Hogs at the Hilton. God rest his soul. He was, if you cooked next to Rob in the morning and you went out and there was a bottle of scotch empty, you were playing for second. Right?
Exactly. That's what I've always heard.
And there was a couple of contests. He said, I'm just not going to drink it. Oh man, he did horrible. Yeah. Uh-huh. So it was just, I don't know, just a way of life. But Mark Shield asked, chicken skin scrape or not to scrape? Were you ever a scraper, Randy?
No, but that's kind of before it started happening.
Yeah. How
about you?
I still scrape. Emma's sitting there asking, what are we talking about? But in competition barbecue, people will separate the skin from the piece of chicken thigh, and they will scrape the fat. They will scrape the fat off of it to make it thinner and not as tough, because a lot of times you're not cooking chicken for a long amount of time. So that fat's always good if you can get it rendered out. But if you don't get it rendered out, you'll end up with a chewy skin. So a lot of people will scrape it. Now, the guys that are cooking on cans, they do the modified, where if they scrape it all the way, that they'll blow out the top of the skins cooking so hot on a can. So they scrape the outsides and leave a fat patch on top, where a judge isn't going to take a bite. I've always just been, I used to never scrape at all, and now I scrape all the time, so it's just a insurance policy that's there. But, the one thing about it, I still see people scraping that skin with a fillet knife. They make this, I don't know what the name of it is, but it's a brisket trimmer. And man, I need to do a video on that. It'll go viral. I could save people thousands of hours a week.
Brisket trimmer, what do you mean?
Well, there's just a little thing. Guy told me about it once, that it's just a little razor blade and it's on a handle. And you put your chicken skin down, and you just, in 30 seconds, maybe even 20 seconds, I can have a piece of chicken skin scraped.
Right.
Maybe even 10 seconds. Just depends how it goes without cutting the skin or whatever. So we'll have to do a video, because I'm watching chicken trimming. There's a lot of chicken trimming videos out on the internet these days in the old barbecue feed. So, and I'm like, whoa, let me do you guys a favor and get you the right tool.
Yeah.
Kind of like the butter cutter, right? Everybody needs a butter cutter.
Don't you think, Darren, you're talking about drinking and focus and stuff, but being able to have the right tools, like you're saying, your little brisket cutter to do the chicken skin, your butter cutter, that makes makes things go a lot better. A lot easier.
It just speeds things up. So you're spending a lot less time prepping. A lot of times people will spend hours trimming chicken. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I spend 20 minutes. I mean, I'll have a whole contest from start to, if I spend more than an hour and 15 minutes trimming a whole contest,
right?
I'm like, well, then I'm pissed that something went wrong. I had to trim another brisket or something.
Right.
Hey, we haven't said the word fuck here in a little bit.
No.
Just saying.
For fuck's sakes. That's a good idea.
I got that in my notes. Say fuck every 30 minutes. No.
Hey.
Pros and cons of wintering in Southwest Florida. Well, I wish I was wintering here. I just visit occasionally. It is beautiful here right now. Anytime, I'm a big believer if during Halloween, no matter where you're at in the South, if you can hit Halloween, when we were in Arizona or in Florida, you hit Halloween, you're going to hit the most amazing weather. In Phoenix, it was always high of 78 and low of 70. And in Florida, It's high of 85 and low of 70. I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous. Hardly had a cloud in the sky the whole time we've been here.
Nice.
Yeah. Wayne Blessing wants to know what the snook are hitting on in Southwest Florida. I've never been snook fishing, so I would say Wayne would be better if he just showed me how.
You go.
Once if we ever get a boat, then I'll be able to go snook fishing. But in the meantime,
snooks?
I'm just going and buying.
I thought snookers were something you got when you got all fucked up drinking. You got all snookered up. So they're a fish.
Snook is a fish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's an inland water fish.
Inland.
Jeez.
Randy Van Slyke with and Neil saying foil or paper. It's to each his own. You got time, use paper. If you got not a lot of time, you want to speed things up, foil.
So
we talked about that once.
Does the foil really speed? Do you feel like this foil speeds it up more than the paper?
Well, yeah. So what happens is with foil seals tight. Paper doesn't.
Right.
So if you're putting liquid in there and you get that steaming and that combustion going, that's how you really get something done quick is you smoke it and then you steam the piss out of it. Right. So the faster you can get stuff in foil, the faster it'll get done.
Right. But do you think it's worth your time on a competition if you're saying foil is such a good thing, should you even think about using paper on a competition brisket?
I would say no in a competition mode, and I tell you why. Because where I see paper is all about maintaining bark. Now, in competition barbecue, we really don't create bark. It's just rub that's kind of on there. A real, what I would call a Texas style bark is where seasoning sits on top of fat and melts into there and creates a Texas bark. One of my favorite briskets ever to eat, right? Or turkey or whatever. Competition barbecue, we never get to that point, right? Because we ain't got time, because you can't hot hold something. So my brisket in competition would be great if I could cook it on Friday and let it sit warm in a warmer all night long. But having a warmer, that's electronic, that's illegal. You can't do that.
Right.
So you end up putting in a Cambro. Well, you can't hold something in a Cambro that long without trying to you could probably put hot water in there every hour. Who's going to do that? Nobody. And you can't use any electrical apparatus to keep that. So if you could cook a brisket today and put it at 140 degrees and let it sit all night long and turn it in, be the best textured brisket you'd probably ever eat. It's just impossible with the rules.
You said something about using butcher paper on turkey. Is that something that you could? I always hear of butcher paper only on brisket. Can you use it on other meats?
Oh yeah, you can use butcher paper on whatever you want to use it on. It's
just going to get better bark.
Is there really much use?
You're right.
It's just going to get better bark, and most of them other meats don't have that fat like that brisket has. So
sure,
it's not really a big deal.
Sure,
not really a big deal. But that long hold, that's the secret to all Texas brisket cooks. Maybe not all, but the majority of brisket cooks. When you walk into a brisket restaurant or walk into a barbecue restaurant in Texas and they're cooking, they're not cooking for today. They're cooking for tomorrow. We saw that old John Lewis showed us that down at La Barbecue. down in Texas years ago. You know, they cook that brisket and they get it done after the crowd leaves, and they set them out on the picnic table and let them come down to temp. Then they wrap them in butcher paper and throw them in the old warming oven at 140, 145 degrees overnight. And that's what they're going to serve for lunch tomorrow. And that long rest is what really tears down that fiber of that meat and makes it really soft and velvety. And, you know, part of the slice that I always love, I would love to get in competition barbecue. It's just hard.
Yeah. Well,
right.
Okay. Never mind.
What?
I was just thinking of something else. So.
Paul Buob. Hopefully I say that right. Paul, great friend. Don't know how to say his last name. What goes into a successful product name? Rub, sauce, restaurant. Lots of barbecue teams miss real audiences. Interesting. I think more to do with the name is the label.
Oh,
I think
agree.
that's where people go wrong. People go wrong on rubs and sauces and stuff. Like,
I
to
agree
me,
100%.
a famous example. I'll pick on my buddy Luke Darnell at Old Virginia Smoke.
Right.
He come out with this sauce called Rusted Mustang. Okay, kind of a vinegar sauce, really good sauce actually. If you haven't tried it, I think he's still got some out there. But anyway, he shows me this, gives me a bottle of it, and I said, matter of fact, hang on a second for those viewers. I've got some in my cupboard.
This is where you go, dun, 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 dun. Boy, he's graceful getting out of there, wasn't he?
Oh, geez.
Okay, so this is marketing, and you're going to have to be on YouTube, right? So here is his sauce, and I said, "Wow, Luke, that's great Usta Aste sauce."
I would agree with you,
right? Because as you're sitting there, as you're looking on the shelf, even though it says Rusted Mustang,
yeah,
it was Usta Aste vinegar. It wasn't a sauce. It wasn't a mustard sauce. It was Usta Aste vinegar. So what's most important as you're developing a label rather than a name, Paul, is something that first sticks out on the shelf, and something that people can identify very easily what it is.
Well, and I'll tell you what.
They need to know it's a barbecue sauce, and they need to know if it's mild or vinegar or hot or spicy or whatever, because that's what they're looking for.
I look at a lot of labels if I'm at the supermarket or someplace, and we'll look at labels and, you know, that. And there's some of them out there that have got so much shit on the label, you can't tell what it is. It's got, you know, all their competition team logo, which is some comical type deal, and then they've got all this and all that. And I mean, it's like, I know it's barbecue sauce because it's in the barbecue section, but as you said, Darren, is it a vinegar? Is it a sweet? Is it a spicy? And I know of some that I see at the store, you don't even know who makes it, who they're coming from, because they've got so much shit on them. For fuck's sake, you know, you're trying to sell your sauce, not a commercial, you know.
Well, and so that's why when we did ours, you know, Haley designed our label, right?
Right.
The
do you want me to go grab one?
And we have a mild, sassy, fiery thing.
Yeah, go grab one, Emma, if you got one close by.
So what was important? If this we'll get our YouTube viewership up. Now we can talk about her now that she's gone, Randy.
Yeah, boy, I tell you what, when she's gone, it's going to be all hell break loose. It's Katie bar the door, no regulations or anything on that shit.
We'll be saying fuck every other fucking word.
Did she have to go to
hi, Emma.
Dubuque?
You do that anyway.
Did she have to go to Dubuque or something to get that? Jesus Christ, for fuck's sake.
Right. So when you look at that sauce, so the Smokey D's, this is Smokey D's Sassy, right? So it says Smokey D's barbecue sauce. We put that label red because we wanted to know it had a little bit of heat to it. The green is mild, right? So people know that, hey, mild is normally great. No, you don't have to grab the other one, but you've got mild, which is green. You got red, which is medium, and then you got orange, which is hot, right? And so very simplistic, but when you have to set that, you know, if you're designing a label, set that baby up on a sauce and set your sauces next to each other, or take some jugs out of your pantry and see which one. Just walk away and have somebody pick out which one they want. Because this is how people make money on sauce. It's not about what's in the sauce. It's how the label looks.
What the label
and
looks like.
What looks good. And when you go to marketing, it's tough. And some people miss it. I think we keep it very simplistic.
Well, don't you
so
think
people know? Yeah, people.
Don't you think also, Darren, some of the sauce is name recognition? And flip those back around, Emma. You guys, they know Smokey D's. You guys are very well known in the industry, and especially in Iowa, where you're selling sauce. So there's like, oh, it's Smokey D's. And I think the name recognition and having that is the most important part. And as I said, there's some labels I've seen, they may have their name like you got Smokey D's, but they got so much other stuff around it. And
yeah, because nobody. When's the last time you saw somebody in the sauce aisle with a bottle turning it around and reading all the small shit on it? It's an impulse buy. Barbecue sauce is an impulse buy. I mean,
some people will look at the.
They might look at the
I disagree. They've
already the ingredients.
They've already made their decision before they look at the ingredients. And if you think
some people, if they're on dietary restrictions or want to stay away from the sugar and whatever, they're doing that. But that's probably a small proportion of people that are doing it. But the big thing is getting something that stands out on that shelf. It doesn't have to say much. Tell me what it is. Tell me if it's hot or mild. But it doesn't need all this shit. And I'm not much on cartoon logos. We used to have a cartoon logo that over the years went into our Smokey D's logo. We used to have, a rack of ribs, and Sherry thought they looked, I think, like hot dogs or something like that, and she hated them. Our thing, the cartoony thing. And I think the cartoony thing looks cheap, right? I think when, somebody wants to say, hey, I'm looking for a professional product, even though it may be canned in your own kitchen, right? If you can get away with it, it's something that looks good. So I think more than name or anything is the label. The label's most important. Spend more time on your label than your sauce. And people are still going to buy it for a nice looking label, and they'll buy it again if they like it.
Keep it on brand. Like, you still want it to kind of fit the rest of your business so that people can recognize it if they see other products.
Sure.
You don't want it to be like too far off to where they wonder if you're the same company in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and if you question those labels, the simplicity of those labels, look at probably one of the top selling barbecue sauce like Open Pit, and some of those. I mean, you don't get much simpler label than those.
Sweet Baby Ray's.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Sweet Baby Ray's. Yeah, people know. You're right. And so people, when they go in, they're either going to buy the cheapest thing.
Right.
The craft or the Sweet Baby Ray's. I mean, that's the game you play. So if you have big aspirations of making huge money in the rub and sauce business, my advice is no.
Stay out of it.
Because there's not a lot to be made. There's just not a lot of money to be made. Now, the whole reason our sauces are in stores in Des Moines, in case we forget something on a catering, we can go pick it up right quick.
I feel like you shouldn't have.
There's your answer.
I don't.
So if they get out to a catering and somebody forgot the barbecue sauce, you can go to any Hy-Vee Fairway in the Des Moines area. But
you shouldn't forget your barbecue sauce.
You shouldn't forget your barbecue sauce.
You shouldn't do a lot of things.
But, when you do that many, sometimes you make errors. Continuous improvement. But anyway, so I don't think anybody's going to get rich, because the problem is with the barbecue sauce business, the only way to get it is to mass produce. And when you mass produce, your quality probably goes down. And then you want to get into the Walmarts and get it in the Walmart shelf. And there's just, we used to make, you make $20 a case on a sauce, being totally on open book. You make $20 a case on a bottle of 12 sauces, right? And if you have somebody else distribute it, you're going to make $10 a case. How many cases of barbecue sauce do you think you're really going to sell? Right.
And what can you do with your time?
And if you want to self-distribute, if you're self-distributing that sauce, take your time and your gas and whatever. That menu, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, we used to self-distribute.
we used to self-distribute. Man, we're out of that business now. I told a guy,
Yeah,
hey,
well-
you're delivering, JC Smoking Wood Products. We were talking. He goes, I'm in the same aisle as you are, and I've got 2 people going out and delivering stores. I'm like, here, take the sauce. Give you $10 a case for every case you sell. Boom, selling 10 times more sauce because he's paying attention to it every single day.
Yeah.
Inventory,
Right.
making sure that inventory.
But
Yeah,
I'm
because
making
we would only go out. Yeah, because we would
So I'm-
only
so
go
I'm-
out a
right.
couple of days.
So I'm selling twice as much sauce, but I'm making I'm making the same amount of money.
Right.
Right. But when you add that all together, it's nice. A lot of people like it if they don't have a restaurant. It's their way into the market. It's a nice marketing thing. But there's some people that have national distributors that are making their rubs for them and just sending them a royalty check, which is fine. It's mailbox money. If you can get to that point, it's mailbox money. But overall, just not a lot of money there when you're competing against the $1.99 Sweet
Sure.
Baby Ray's and the 99-cent Kraft on sale. 80% of the market's going to go there. You'd be better off to find other restaurants that want to use your sauce and put their label on it. I've done that many times. Find somebody that wants it, and
Yep.
hey, because the more sauce you can do it. Used to have a good customer down in Jacksonville, Illinois. Used to use that sauce.
Well, you never know what happens. So.
Yeah,
Moving
got
right
too
along.
expensive.
Yeah. $10. Moving along.
Blaine Hunter says it's lame. Well, he never listens to it anyway. He's too busy making money.
Yeah.
He's the
Over at
reason.
Porky Butts
Yeah.
Barbecue. He's always lame. Phil Hopkins wants to talk about the history. Oh, the history of barbecue. And we've hit on that a lot. Phil
Mhm.
taught us damn near
Yeah.
everything we knew in the restaurant business and in competition. One of my best mentors, my first mentors in barbecue and best mentor ever, and still a great friend, him and Linda. And, even though their restaurant's not there, they still have a rub that
What's your favorite
does
saying
really
about
well on the
what's your favorite
competition
saying
circuit.
about certain rubs and certain sauces on the competition circuit? You're either using
the smoke
you
guns
either
hot
u-
and simmer on docks, or the two. You're either what do you say? You're
using it or lying or losing. No,
yeah,
using
yeah,
it or
you're
lying.
either losing or lying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kinda
right,
fucked that
right,
up, didn't we?
right. Oh well.
Whatever.
Kevin Kelly wants to know who has the best mustard to put on a pork tenderloin. Well, we all know
Well,
Kelly's
that's-
gourmet mustard is the top.
That's exactly right.
Just because it's an Illinois product, right, Randy?
No, because it's just goddamn good mustard.
It is good mustard. It is good mustard. If anybody's
mean-
a mustard connoisseur, Kelly's Gourmet Mustard. He sent us a case of gallons out for the tenderloin feed this year, so which we always appreciate. Gets people to tasting the mustard, but there's some knockoffs out there, but he just does a great job. Small batch mustard. It's top notch.
Yep, it's the best.
Brad DuPont. Maybe we need to have Brad DuPont on talking about boudin and Cajun meats. I love me some boudin. I got a fresh stocking here of boudin sausage about a month ago from
Yes, you did.
David
I
Morrow.
was helped.
2
I
months
helped.
now. So
I helped transport part of that. You did get a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Oh man.
Are you still eating on it, or you ate it all up?
Robin
yet?
Yelverton. Oh yeah. No, haven't eaten all up.
Ration it.
Robin Yelverton says, discuss love and kindness. Not enough of that these days. And I'm 100% with that.
I am too.
Right.
Too
There's
much
just too
fucking
much
hatefulness.
fucking shit going on in the world.
Too
right?
much hatefulness.
Right. Now we got our fucks in.
Yeah.
There is. I mean, and why? I mean, I was reading something today. I was out on Reddit, because Reddit's kind of my favorite resource of, if I'm bored, I go to
You
Reddit.
don't peg me for a Reddit guy.
Really?
No,
Why? Because they're all ultra liberal, whatever.
no. You just seemed like you'd be a Twitter person.
Oh, I'm a Twitter person too. I'm multifunctional.
But,
I go to
okay.
different places. I go to different platforms for information, right? I go to
Okay.
Instagram to look at food. I
Mhm.
go to Facebook to see whose grandma died. I go to Threads once in a while because it's just unleashed. And the only
Yeah.
reason I go there now is because Instagram, in the Instagram post.
Yeah,
the
now
second
it's even
post
in
down is a thread.
Yeah, now it's
and
a
so,
thread.
of course, you have to click on it because it's always something cool. But then I'll go to Twitter's only for crypto for me, right? So I'm looking at the crypto markets and what's happening in the crypto world. And then Reddit is kind of my resource. So, and there's everything from A to Z plus on Reddit.
Oh yeah.
And
I've not spent much time out there.
Randy, are you on Reddit?
No.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll send you a couple. I'll send you a couple links to some chef sites and stuff like that.
Okay, please do.
But no, I was out there this morning just looking at a chef site, and they were talking about different things. They were talking about scrambled eggs, cooking scrambled eggs in a banquet type scenario. A guy was new to the banquet stuff, and he was talking about what's the best way. And there was everything from A to Z. Put them on a flat top, put them in a bain marie with boiling water underneath it and slow cook them there. There was, hey, put it in a hotel pan and throw it in a steamer for 15 minutes. All kinds of great advice. And then there was just all kinds of haters. You can't fucking cook eggs? I'm like, just shut your mouth. The guy asked a question. And that seems like the world, the keyboard cowboys, right?
Yes. And you wonder if they even cooked any eggs. If the people that come out there being horses' asses, they've probably not even tried. I used to do we used to do some caterings of us, and we'd do eggs, and I learned the first thing I learned was you want to make sure you put lemon juice in with your eggs.
Yeah, otherwise they'll turn green.
Green. Yeah, it's like fucking Dr. Seuss, green eggs and ham. I took the lid off those, and I was like, "What in the Sam hell?"
Or vinegar. You just need acid. You just need acid, whether it's lemon juice, lime juice, whatever, vinegar, whatever. Yeah, green eggs and ham. You're exactly right. Or you can just.
But if I'd have posted something like that out there, somebody would have been, "You dumb son of a bitch! You can't even. What are you doing this if you can't cook eggs?" Well, you got to learn somewhere.
Well, so I think what's missing on this whole social media thing, and maybe Emma, you can take this idea and run with it, right? What's missing is when somebody's just a shit stirrer, right? Because they're everywhere.
Yes.
Why can't we tag that person as shit stirrer, right? And maybe there's probably a better politically
block the fuckers
term, like fucking idiot, or something like that. But
you guys are doing just fine on the F-bomb count, by the way.
Okay, good. But why don't we take that and be able to say this guy's a shit stirrer, this guy's and have people, because any news article you read online, oh my God, you can say somebody opened a new restaurant, it's the best thing in the world, and there's 50 people saying, this restaurant's better, or this restaurant's better. Fuck, they haven't been there. Shit stirrer.
And you
tag them as shit stirrer. And when they get tagged so much as a shit stirrer, then they don't appear anymore. Right? So if you're going to be a shit stirrer, I'm out. Now I know that's part of the reason people read stuff.
You can report them, essentially, and you can, there's categories where you can report them as harassment or just saying stupid shit. But I mean, it's not.
Is there one that says shit? Is there one that says shit stir? Right. So it's not going to hurt them. So if you can give an up arrow or a down arrow,
you can. I think you can.
Let me let you know. After so many, I believe they'll get removed. Let me let you know a little secret. As somebody that's been attacked, I've been attacked before, and about the only way you can get rid of them is to block them to your post and stuff.
Yeah.
And even then,
oh no,
Emma, I was talking. Even then, they
have
I'm trying to find three or four different sub names that then they'll attack you another way, or have their friends attack you. So,
right. Those are.
Yeah, and
I can't find a comment I can fake. Yeah, no, we've had a couple of people like that.
And the other shit stirrers just feed on them.
I don't block often. At least from a business side, you can hide people's comments so that this is a little trick that I find really amusing. You can hide their comments so it'll show up on only their feed. So it's so they still think that they're hot shit, and they're like, oh, this comment bothered him enough they didn't even respond, when in reality nobody else can see it.
Right.
And so it just sits on just their feed. So I do that a lot just to keep those people from like re-commenting and stuff and saying stupid things.
Right.
Just because they just think I'm just ignoring them. Or yeah. But I don't think I've had to block anybody. I've come close a couple of times.
I've had my people block.
Then they found out it was my good. Then she found out it was my good friends.
No. Darren's all about negative comments. He likes to let them sit so that everyone else can respond to them.
Because that's why people go to things.
Yeah,
people. About the thing, this whole drama thing. People love the drama, right? And I think the whole drama thing got. I'm not going to go political, but the whole drama thing happened during our, the election 2 months ago. So you take a guy like Donald Trump, okay? Doesn't matter. Hate him, love him, everybody, different matter. But there was a lot of drama involved, and that attracted people to that drama, right? It wasn't about the nuts and bolts of the company, right? I mean, the country. It was the drama that attracts people. So, and every show you have on TV, and Randy, I know you watch a lot of them, is drama based. And that's why I don't watch TV anymore. I hate the drama associated with that. And it's everywhere. And that's why a lot of people don't do social media, because it's there in the comments and they're stupid and whatever. I find sometimes enjoyment. That's why Emma's like, should I block this guy? No, let that baby roll.
Yeah.
Because that's going to get more people. Normal people can see stupid people in action.
See through it. They can see through it.
They can see through it. So anyway, back to, because we're running out of time here. We're damn near an hour. How do you find, probably that comes out the most is, how do you find balance between traveling and competing all around the country and taking time for yourself and your family, right? And this was a lot tougher back early on. Now it's not tough because Sherry goes with me, right? Half the time now,
right?
If it's between 70 and 85 degrees and between partly sunny and sunny, right? Sherry goes with me. Otherwise, she'd rather be at home and be with the grandkids and stuff like that. And I find time for the grandkids once or twice a week. I don't want to, the grandkids, they got way too much energy. Way too much energy to be around 24/7, so it's a balance, but it's about doing what you love to do.
I agree.
Right. And I love to travel and I love to compete in barbecue contests, and, it's a whole balance. And I'm at the point in the restaurant business that I can work from anywhere, because I'm working on much bigger picture stuff than making sure, the brisket got done this morning, because I've, empowered people to do that. So. Anyway, okay, Emma, you got any parting words? Even though I know you're going to be like popping your own little, because we're not going to be able to control this, right? Okay, so Randy, we're gonna record this, and then she's going to pick it up, and I'm going to send her a text saying, "Hey, we're recorded," and she's going to pick it up, and she'll be able to
edit out stuff,
cut everything out she wants to cut, or add in whatever she wants before it's published.
Sure.
We're taking a chance here.
I'm still in control.
She's still in control. She always
probably
has
for
been.
the best. Probably for the best.
I'm not going to argue that one with you, Emma.
We might bring her in as a guest once in a while.
Celebrity guest.
No, I don't think. Yeah.
We'll see how that first week. We'll see how that first week or two goes of working at the new job.
Smooth as silk.
I think that's a recipe for disaster, Randy.
What's that?
Jeez.
Working from home. Working from home. I think that's a recipe for disaster.
I'm not commenting.
Okay.
Well, I mean, for me, I'd probably weigh over 300 pounds.
Honestly, I think I'll eat better because I won't be within walking distance of a fried chicken restaurant or a kitchen.
There goes our sales.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, because my half-off order.
Your half-off order.
Yeah. I haven't ordered in months. But, No, parting words. No, because I'm not really parting. I mean, I'm just not going to be on the screen.
As much.
Right.
So, sorry. I apologize to all of our viewers who, like to comment on my expressions. I promise I'll still be making them. You just won't see them. And yeah.
Hey, and I told her she could still do. I told her she could still do the podcast. She would just have to be able to do it on a moment's notice. Like, I guess mostly I am going to have to schedule a little bit with Randy. Emma's gotten so used to me going, "Hey, 15 minutes, let's record," and she'll go, "Okay," right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think Randy's going to be as flexible.
I'm pretty
our podcast
flexible.
will have to become a little more. Randy, you guys were supposed to record one episode, and you guys couldn't do that while I was in Italy.
Randy fucked that up.
I fucked that up. For fuck's sake, I had shit to do.
I think. Oh my gosh. I think the podcast will have to develop a little bit more structure, but that's okay. But yeah, no, I don't know.
There's no doubt it needed structure now, but for some reason we always find our way. Yeah, we always find our way to give little tidbits of information, get out some talk about current event and news and whatever. So
it was structured at the beginning. I would like to.
Where'd she go?
Oh, she disappears every once in a while. She probably had to pick her nose.
Okay.
No, I'm still here, and everyone else is going to see that.
Randy, you disappeared off the screen earlier too. So.
Oh, really?
Oh, jeez.
She's starting to sob.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. I have not.
She's gonna miss us.
Yeah.
I will miss the podcast. Yeah, but yeah, I'll miss all of our listeners and stuff. It'll be fine. I'll still be around.
Okay. It'll be fine. She'll be around. We'll bring her back every once in a while, and I have a feeling that Sunday morning is going to become the podcast time, Randy. And then Emma's going to go, "What? I have to get this done by Sunday night." But Sunday morning, Randy and I usually have an hour and a half to talk every Sunday.
So we might as well do it here. So
we might as well do it here, right?
Oh, I can't wait.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't think so. Randy, what about you?
Not a thing. I'd say we've covered lots of information this morning. Starting a Monday.
Are you going to try the close?
No.
Randy, are you going to try the close?
Well, someone's going to have to take my spot.
Well, I don't know what the close is.
Yeah, the close. Tell them what to do.
You're going to listen, Randy.
Okay.
I'll have Emma write this down so you can memorize it.
Send me a text, if you would.
Most of the time, I just wing it.
Just wing it.
Yeah.
But here comes the close, Randy.
Okay. Go find us on Instagram.
Yeah, you got to start with 2 every week.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I'm leaving, guys. I'm tired of Darren making fun of me. Go find us on Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Threads, and TikTok. We are at Cue the Mic podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, where we would like you to subscribe. Go watch our videos. You guys can see, today, barbecue bottles and stuff. And rate us. Give us a like, all the things.
I got a good comment.
I just kind of say what I.
There's another podcast I listen to, and they always say that they don't have any advertisements, so they can say whatever they want to. And the biggest way you can do it,
us either.
And the biggest thing you can do is share the show so other people can know. If you like what you hear, share the show. And their tag word is don't be a hoe. Share the show. Don't be a hoe. Share the show.
Don't be a hoe. Share the show.
Exactly.
Well, I don't want to steal their words completely, but yeah, share us. I think word of mouth is a great way too. If you got a friend that you think might be interested, yeah, you know what I meant. If you got a friend,
we built an entire business based upon word of mouth.
Yep. If you got a friend you think might be interested, tell them to listen. We're on all podcast platforms. So, yeah. Not my best closure for it being the last one, but that's okay.
I thought it was magnificent.
It's kind of on brand.
Yeah.
And if we forget to do the closure thing, just go ahead and record that and add it at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
And make sure you put Twyford barbecue put Randy's credentials on the podcast.
Yep.
On the
My name's gonna be gone. It'll be.
Well, we could leave it on there.
I might leave it as produced by.
Producer.
Or produced by, or Randy Twyford permanently sitting in for Emma who quit. I think that's great.
There
yeah,
I
think it'd be perfect. Still get your name out there.
I don't want to sound like a quitter. I didn't.
Okay.
I mean.
All right.
It's whatever.
Okay.
All right.
I gotta go. It's pool 30.
All right.
Oh,
we'll see you guys.
Suck. Yeah, see you guys next week.
Peace out.
You bet.